Welcome. This is the Hands to Heart Center and Boston Public Library Friday afternoon Unwind Gentle Yoga live stream. My name is Jessi. I volunteer with Hands to Heart Center and I'll be guiding this afternoon's practice. So we'll get started in just about a minute. There's no props that are needed for today. However, if there's anything that supports your practice that you like using, please feel free. We'll start standing. And then we'll work our way down to the mat throughout the practice today. Today's practice is designed to unwind from the week, to re-regulate the body at the end of the day, at the end of the week. So the beginning of our class will have a bit more movement. And then as we process and digest the energy from the week, we will unwind and restore more and slow down the practice as we move down to the mat. So again, my name is Jessi. I'm a volunteer with Hands to Heart Center, which is an organization in Boston that brings yoga to communities all around the city with a particular focus on communities that are impacted by trauma, poverty, and loss. Throughout the class, I will give breath cues, and those serve to bridge the body and mind. I will also give physical cues for alignment and safety. And as always, the invitation is yours to make the practice serve you in the most nourishing, kind, and supportive way possible. So what I offer is an invitation. You may choose to kick it up a notch, turn it down a notch, and do whatever is most suitable for your body. So let's get started by standing on our mats. I'll be on the screen throughout the class modeling each thing that we do. So if a visual is helpful, I will be here. Also feel free if you want to just turn down the sensory input. You don't need to be looking at the screen. I'll do my best to give very clear instructions to where you can follow along if you're looking in another direction or want to have the eyes closed. So come into a comfortable stance, weight equally distributed on 2 feet. Feet press into the earth, energy moves up through the legs, tailbone drops, collarbone lifts, chin tucks, crown of the head parallel with the ceiling, distance between shoulders and the earlobes. Take a deep breath in through the nose, sigh it out through the mouth. Go ahead, draw in the air through the nose, really fill the bellies, ribs, chest, whole upper body balloons with air, and sigh it out through the mouth. If it appeals to you, take the hands and place them on the body in any way that's nourishing. It might be one hand on heart, one hand on belly, hands on the low back, both hands at the upper chest, or another creative configuration. Without thinking too much, just notice where the hands might land. This serves to close the circuit and create a connection inward. If it appeals to you, close the eyes. If it does not appeal, you can just slide the gaze downward slightly so that you're gazing at the floor in front of you. And take a moment to pause here. Notice the sense of the hands on the body, the feet on the ground. What does the air feel like on your skin? And can you sense your clothing on your skin? You might start to deepen and slow down the breath. Fill through the nostrils, the air enters the body. And release also through the nostrils, the air exits. slow and deep and rhythmic. Draw in the air, the belly fills, ribs expand, chest lifts. And exhales for softening and release of all the air. Each breath slightly slower, slightly deeper than the one that came before it. Move at your own pace. When the lungs are full, release the air. When the lungs are empty, draw it back in. We'll continue with a few more rounds of this deep, slow, purposeful breath. The pace of the breath is the object of our attention. You can trace the path in through the nostrils as the air rushes through the throat and fills up the torso, nourishing and lifting. Then you can trace the reverse path on the exhale as the body softens, air release, energy expelled. Trace the breath with interest. Follow it with your mind's eye. And on our last cycles of breath, in this intentional breath, you might see if you can slow down and deepen your breath even 1% more. So that these few rounds are truly the deepest, slowest breaths. You might notice the slow rise and fall of the hands if they're on your body. The sense of connection between the body and the hands as the breath undulates in and out. Take your time. As you complete the exhale, option to release the hands from the body. You may choose to keep them connected or move to a new location with the hands. And you'll hand back the breath to your body. So instead of the conscious control from the mind, you'll hand the control of the breath back to the body and just trust the body's natural breath. And notice the effects of taking time in a stationary position to breathe deeply and purposefully, to bridge the brain and the body with breath. Release the hands down to the side of the body. Adjust your feet so that they're roughly below your hips and roughly parallel. Of course, individual variations will be different for each one of us. But generally, we want to have a stable base where the legs are like pillars between the hips and the heels. So to reset our mountain, our standing mountain, feet are connected with the earth, equal weight distributed, quadriceps lightly lifted, tailbone drops, collarbone lifts, shoulder blades move back on the spine towards one another. distance between the shoulders and earlobes. Eyes can be closed, gaze slightly downward. Tuck the chin slightly. And reaching through the crown of the head. From here, take a deep inhale through the nose as the palms flip up, fingertips reach out, and arms come up overhead. Gaze can follow the hands if that appeals to you. The top of the inhale, the palms will flip down, and exhale through the nostrils as the arms come down to the side. Deep sun breaths. Inhale to reach up, stretch through the fingertips. Press through the feet as the gaze lifts. Exhale, arms extend out to the side. Breath releases. So let the speed of your breath and the speed of your arms align with one another. And so this speed will be a unique pulse, a unique rhythm for your body. What I'm modeling is just one option. These sun breaths might feel nourishing at a quicker speed where you're moving through some of the energy processing and digesting the week. You might feel like slow and steady, really deliberate, smooth motions are suitable for you. So for these cycles of sun breath, choose what feels best to you in this moment. And often that choice comes from letting the body guide and the mind follow. Take 2 more sun breaths on your own time. No rush to get through them. When you're complete, you can just settle in that mountain pose with arms down by the side. And you'll notice how you feel. What is the imprint of bridging body with breath? Hands can come to the hips or just rest down by the side. You'll take your weight into the right foot and come up onto the ball of your left foot. And we'll start making ankle circles in either direction. So we'll be moving through joint circles of several main joints of the body as a way to increase mobility and open these spaces. And turn in the opposite direction. So we'll be starting with the bottom of the body here at the ankles and then moving our way upward. Come back to both feet. Weight shifts over to the left. You're up on the ball of the right foot and you'll begin circling the ankle here. Joint circles promote mobility, allow circulation, movement of synovial fluid. They can also just feel really great, especially after a long day of being in shoes, reverse direction. And pause there. You'll bring the feet parallel and close together so that the insides of the feet are touching. I'm going to take my hands, palms face down, fingertips pointed in, and they're above my kneecaps. So my knees are bent and my hands are placed above my knees. So with knees bent, I'm going to start to circle my knees and my ankles. So a bit of a stirring, churning motion here. So my knees straighten as they come forward towards my toes, or sorry, they bend as they come forward towards my toes and straighten as they move back. And my ankles are moving in a circular direction. My hips are also involved in this. So we're getting our whole lower body here. And just like with the breath, these circles are moving at the speed that your body is naturally called to. The speed that enables your balance, enables you to move through your individual range of mobility. We'll switch directions. And there may not be specific coordination with the breath in these circles. However, keeping the breath smooth and steady, checking in with it. It's always a good idea. And after your next circle, we'll straighten the legs, release the hands. Here we'll step the feet out to wider than hip position. I like here to have hands on the hips. You could also leave them down by the sides. Option to keep the knees straight or bend them slightly so that they're soft. And we'll move into hip circles. So this can be done with either straight knees or bent knees, or of course, feel free to experiment with either. And reverse direction. And release. Bring the feet back into about hips distance. Take the hands, interlace them in front of the face. Bring the elbows close together to the extent that you're able. And we'll begin wrist circles. So moving up the body from ankles to knees to hips, now to wrists. Reverse direction. Breath stays smooth and steady. And release the hands down to the side. From here, take the fingertips, place them on top of the shoulders. Elbows are pointed out towards the sides. And I'm going to use the elbows to draw circles here. So I bring the elbows towards the front, up towards my ears, behind me, imagining they could touch, and then pointing down towards the ground. And reverse direction. So the elbows come forward as if they could touch in front of you, down to the floor, back towards the shoulder blades, and then up overhead. And reverse shoulder circle. And fingertips just gently resting on the shoulder. And release the hands down to the sides. We'll take this into the final circular motion, which is circling the very top of the spine. So here I think about as if I were drawing circles with my nose. These are very, very gentle. We're looking for just a small amount of motion at the occipital area, right where the skull sits on the top of the spine. These are not big neck rolls. There should be no cracking, no popping, no straining. Very, very gentle. So you might think of even a micro circle with your nose. And reverse direction. And the next time you're back in center, Release. I'll turn to the side so that you can see this visual. I'll have my feet pointed forward, parallel to each other. I'll bend the knees. Feet can be either touching or about hip width. I'm going to have my hands above my knees again, palms faced in. On the inhale, I'm going to turn my tailbone up, chest comes forward. I'm looking up so my spine comes into an arch on the inhale. And on the exhale, I'm going to tuck my tailbone, tuck my chin, shoulders spread apart away from the spine and rounding forward. Knees staying bent for support, feet flat on the ground, and palms pressing into the lower quadriceps. So inhale to arch, tailbone lifts, crown of head lifts, chin lifts, and exhale to round. So here we are back to coordinating with the breath. Inhale as tailbone lifts, chest lifts, chin lifts, and exhale to curl forward, shoulder blades come away from the spine. Move through this at your own speed. Loosening and massaging along the spine. It's like a standing version of cat and cow, which is often done on hands and knees in like a tabletop position. And the version that we're doing is very close to what you could do if you were sitting in a chair, so it can be great for a quick break while on the computer or while sitting at a traffic light in a car. So this gives you an idea of how cat and cow can be done from a standing position as well. And you'll roll up to standing. And from here, I like to take my feet again a little bit wider than hips width. And I'm just going to start gentle twists from side to side. My arms at about shoulder height. And the hands might come in contact with my shoulders a little bit, or even the back of my body, back ribs. And I'm trying to keep this twist in my upper body. So my knees are not moving too much. I'm not feeling really anything below my hips. And if I start to feel that, I'll just back off a little bit. And so I encourage you to do the same to keep the knees supported and safe. This is really for upper spine, shoulder area, mid-back. So anything that you feel in the legs, knees, anything beneath the hips, you can back off slightly. And then release the arms down to the side. Come back into a standing mountain. With feet roughly beneath the hips, weight equally distributed. Invitation to bring a hand to belly, hand to heart. Eyes can close or gaze can soften, and just notice how is that you feel in this moment. Quality of your body's energy, the thoughts in your mind. Welcoming whatever arises. No need to fix, judge, analyze, just collecting information. This is how I feel in this moment, and it is completely acceptable. To your next exhale, return the arms down to the side. We'll move through a brief standing sequence to continue stretching through the spine, as well as start to move the energy down into our legs to create some grounding, some steadiness. And this can be really helpful at the end of a long week or at this time of day where we start to hopefully wind down from the activities of the day, move into sunset, turn the energy down, and we'll literally move it down through our bodies a bit as we prepare to come to the mat. So with feet below the hips, quadriceps slightly lifted, tailbone drops, chest lift, chin tucks. As much distance as you can between the shoulders and the ears. And also a little bit of distance between the upper and lower teeth. If you're clenching at all, release that. Any micro relaxation in the face or head is always welcome. Maybe around the brow. Maybe the lips can soften slightly. You'll inhale the arms out to the side, reach up overhead as you press into the ground with your feet. Hands can clasp above the head if that's accessible to you. Arms can be bent or straightened, completely your choice. And exhale over to the right. Reach through the right fingertips, press through the left heel. Left hip moves to the side. Breathe. Take an inhale, come up through center. Exhale to release the arms down by the side. Slowly inhale, reach out to the sides, up overhead. Pressing through the feet as the fingertips reach up. Palms clasp above the head, elbows bent or straightened. And as you exhale, you'll tilt to the other side, to the left. So reaching through the left side, your fingers, right hip extends, press through the left heel. Half moon. Breath is slow and steady. Breathe in to reach up. And exhale the arms down to the side. Again, I'll turn and you can stay where it suits you. I'm going to bring my feet together, parallel so the insides of the feet are touching. Breathe in, reach my arms out in front of me, palms facing in, elbows straight, shoulders away from the ears. As I exhale, I'm going to send my hips back, bend my knees, sitting back, chair. I'm going to inhale to reach up overhead, straighten the knees, exhale to lower. Inhale to reach and straighten. And exhale, hips go back, arms come forward to shoulder height, bend the knees. We'll pause here in the chair. Can the breath stay smooth? Press into the feet. Send the hips back. Can there be space between the shoulders and ears? Space between the upper teeth and lower teeth. Smooth breath. In your next inhale, reach the arms up, straighten the legs. And exhale the arms down to the side. Breathe in, arms come up overhead. Exhale, arms come to shoulder height, palms face in. Knees bend, hips come back, you're sitting in the chair. Inhale up overhead. Reach up, legs straighten, hands clasp, arms above the head. And exhale to the right. Half moon. Stay for just one breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale up through center. Exhale, release the hands and arms down to the side. Inhale, arms come up overhead. Exhale, arms lower to shoulder height, hips bend back, knees bend, chair. Breathe in through the nose. Breathe out through the nose. Inhale, pressing through the feet as the legs straighten, arms lift, clasp hands above the head. Inhale and exhale to the left. Stay for one complete cycle. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale back up through center. Exhale the arms down to the side. Inhale, arms raise up overhead. Exhale, Arms come to shoulder height, knees bend, hips come back. We're into the chair. Inhale, arms come up overhead, reach up, straighten the legs, clasp the hands. And this time, as you exhale, bend the knees, send the hips back, and you bring the hands to the left side of your knees and you look over to the right. So a small upper body twist. Inhale, legs straighten, arms come up overhead. And exhale, knees bend, hips go back, and this time the arms are slicing over to the right and you're looking over your left shoulder. Inhale up through center. And you can keep going with this slicing motion on the exhales as you enter your chair position. Arms stay straight and you're looking over to the side. Or if you would like to bend the elbows and hook the elbow on the outside of the knee. So I would take my left elbow, hook it on the outside of my right knee. This brings me into a deeper twist. That's using more of my back, takes more mobility. So up to you as we breathe in, all of us will straighten, reach up. Hands are clasped, legs are straightened as we exhale, taking either version of the twist. Elbow to knee, or keep the arms straight and just move both arms from one side to the next. We'll do a couple times in each direction, really rooting into the feet, sending the energy down through the legs. Strengthen the ankles, strengthen the knees. The next time your arms are above head, on the inhale, you'll release the clasp of the hands and arms will come down to the side. Opportunity to bring one hand to heart, one hand to belly. Feel the body breathing. Feel the heart beating. Notice how you feel right now in this moment. Release the arms down to the side. And take your feet slightly apart. Bend the knees softly. And you're walking with your fingertips down the front of your legs. Bend the knees as much as you need to in order to place the fingertips on the ground. You can come down to a crouching position if that's helpful. And so with fingertips on the ground, so I want to see if you can place the whole hand on the ground. So bend the knees any amount. Then you'll step back with the right leg and then the left leg to land yourself down into a tabletop position. So here in table, the wrists are directly beneath the shoulders. The elbows are straight. Press through the palms of the hands, the knuckles, and the fingertips. And this activation through the whole hand protects the arms, wrists, and shoulder joints. The knees are directly beneath the hips, and here you're pressing into the tops of the feet, like the shoelaces side of the feet, as well as the shins. And again, this activates some energy through the legs, and is a protective way to begin this tabletop position. Take a deep breath in through the nose, and sigh it out through the mouth. One more deep breath in through the nose. And sigh through the mouth. From here, send the hips back. We'll come into a child's pose. You might be happy leaving the legs where they are. You may want to extend the knees outward so that there's more space for the belly to droop between your thighs. Elbows can stay straight, reaching forward, or you might choose to bend them. Forehead can come to the ground, or you might stack up your fists, one on top of the other, and let the forehead touch the fists and use that as a pillow for your head. It can be really nice to have the head touching the ground so that you feel supported, and that invites the body to ease. If you're not having to hold yourself up in a position, especially a restful position like child's pose, the body can settle a little bit. So find the position that is most comfortable for you. And we'll be here for a few breaths. Smooth out the breath at your own pace. Invite the body to soften. The jaw unclench. The hands or palms release any amount. Is there anywhere where the hips could hold on a little bit less? Just let the weight of the body settle. Supported completely by the ground beneath you. Notice the breath as it comes in and out of the body. Breathe in to nourish. Breathe out to release. The breath is soft, the breath is gentle. You might start to rock your hips gently from side to side, exploring what it's like to make some small motions. You might also like to walk the hands over in one direction, so perhaps both hands come to the left, and you'll notice a stretch in the right side of your body through the ribs, obliques, the waist, through the armpit and arm. You can play around with bending and straightening the arm, or maybe even circling the shoulder. And notice where you feel the changes in your body, what sensations you notice. So a little bit of time to explore here. And as long as you, if you try something on one side, if you can also try it on the other, that promotes balance. So any micro movements and creative movements that you want to take, moving from side to side, stretching some part of the body. Stay here for a couple of cycles of breath. A great way to decide what movements you'll take is just to listen into what the body's doing, let the body decide and the mind follow. We'll come back into that tabletop position slowly and gently. If the wrists feel tender, you can always come up onto fists. This can be a nice support. It's also helpful if you just at all feel a little unsteady or ungrounded in the position. Sometimes the fist can provide a more stable base for people. So from here, we'll take our right leg out behind us. So while the foot can be on the floor, leg is straight and steady. You're pressing into the left shin, into both hands in front of you. And if this feels like a place of engagement, feel free to stay. If you'd like a little bit more, you can play around with lifting the right foot so that the heel points up towards the ceiling and the toes point down towards the ground. And just a gentle lifting and lowering. Keep the breath smooth and steady. Notice how it feels to put pressure into the 3 points, the 2 hands and the left leg and shin. You can keep those points equal as the right leg lifts and lowers. And the next time your leg is down, you bring it back into tabletop. Take a deep breath in through the nose, sigh it out through the mouth. You'll send the left leg back, so straighten the knee. Toes are curled under, so the ball of the left foot is on the ground. And you're pressing steadily through both hands, and now the right leg and foot. With the breath moving slowly, you'll start to lift and lower the left leg. And you can pull the belly towards the spine for more support in the core area. And notice, can you keep the breath steady? Are you able to maintain equal pressure on hands and leg? So your tripod base is supporting you equally in each limb. Take 1 or 2 more. And you'll come back to tabletop. You'll sit to one side and bring the legs in front of you. So extend the legs straight out in front of you, sitting on your bottom side, equal weight between the hips. Elongated spine, chin tucked. Fingertips can be on the floor, outside of your upper legs, shoulders away from the ears. Feet can be pointed or flexed, up to you. The legs are active. So take a deep breath up. You'll reach the arms up overhead, extending them. And then on your exhale, you'll start to hinge forward any amount from the hips. Keep the spine straight, keep the arms near the ears. So you may just go a small amount, keeping the spine straight. So this is very active here. We haven't gone far. Our shoulders are away from our ears, our fingertips are reaching up. Breath stays smooth. And now from here, if you'd like to release the arms down, fingertips on the ground, on the sides of the legs. And if you'd like to fold forward, rounding the spine any amount, feel free. So here the stretch moving deeper into the hamstrings if that's appealing to you. And you'll choose the level of sensation that you're interested in. You does not need to go far to receive the benefit of a stretch. Steady breath. Fingertips can be on the floor. You might take your hands and hold them around the calves or the ankles, the toes. And let each breath allow your head to soften slightly so that the chin can drop towards the chest. And the back of the neck begins to lengthen and soften. Smooth, steady breath. And gently start to release. Walk your fingertips back towards your hips, spine straightens. Recommit to your foot position, whether it's pointed or flexed. Breathe the arms in up overhead, extend and reach. And then exhale them out to the sides. From here, you'll gently lower yourself down onto your back. Take your time getting there. And when you arrive, bend the knees so that the feet are soles flat on the floor, knees pointed up towards the ceiling, arms can be down by the sides, out in a T position or resting on your belly. We'll pause here. Notice what it's like to have a completely new orientation in gravity. What is it like for more of your body to be in contact with the mat? And is there anything that can soften? Can you allow the pelvis or shoulders to feel more supported by the ground? Can the fingers release any clench? Perhaps some small muscles around the eyes might relax a bit. Even a micro shift towards softening makes a big difference. It's important. From here, I'm going to start to draw my right knee in towards my chest and lift up my right foot. I can use my hands to come outside of my shin. And so I'm pulling my bent right leg in towards my chest. You might keep your left foot exactly where it is, or if it appeals to you, to extend it down on the mat. Right foot can be pointed or flexed, your choice. And you'll start to rock the right leg from side to side, loosening a bit through the hip joint. So the leg is coming across my body in both directions. And the knee comes out towards the right side, and then it makes its way towards my left hip. And if it feels nice to take some circles in either direction, feel free. Breath stays steady. And come back to a still position. Take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Gently release the right leg down. You can extend it out or keep the sole of the foot on the ground with the knee pointed up. And we'll move into the left leg. So you'll bring the left leg in by bending the knee, using the hands to support and grab on the left shin beneath the knee. And as you hug the leg in on the left side, you can start moving from side to side. So it's like the knee aims from the left shoulder and then slides across the body to the right shoulder. Back and forth. The option to keep going with these sliding motions, or perhaps take circles. Smooth out the breath. Come back into stillness. Deep breath in through the nose. Sigh it out through the mouth. And release the left leg. You might find yourself comfortable in this supine position on the back. And as we move into time to take some rest and integration, you might choose another supine posture that works for you on the side, on the belly. Hands can be connected with the body, perhaps palms face down on the belly, or splayed out to the side. There are so many options here. And really the priority is feeling safe, feeling comfortable, and feeling secure. So choose a position that feels the most supportive that you can be in for several moments and that you feel relaxed in. It's also completely fine if this is something upright, if you prefer to be sitting or in another orientation. Take that for yourself. So as you find your most comfortable position, you might like to close the eyes. And I'll invite some opportunities for guided relaxation, and you can feel free to engage with those or simply just let the sound of my voice wash by and take this time in complete silence. You might take a deep breath and notice the air as it fills the belly and leaves the belly. In breath to nourish, to lift, and out breath to release and soften. With the next breath, you might bring your attention to your head, the weight of the head, the space of the head. Then your out breath, can your awareness commit to softening any amount, releasing, letting the weight of the head rest. As you breathe in, awareness and attention slides to the eyes. And as you exhale, can the eyes soften and gaze or even close? The muscles around the eyes, soft and unclenched. Breathe in, notice the jaw. Breathe out, release, soften, let go in the jaw. Breathe awareness into your throat. And exhale any holding, any tension, any restriction in the throat and the neck. Breathe in awareness of the shoulders. And breathe out, invite the shoulders to release, to soften, to rest. Breathe in awareness to belly, filled with air. And breathe out to soften. A belly that's undefended and at ease. Awareness slides to the back body as you take your next breath. And the whole back from tailbone to base of the skull. Ease and soften. A wave of relaxation cascade down the back on your exhale. Slide the awareness down to your pelvis, your hips, glutes. Inhale. On your exhale, release. Pelvic area softens. Inhale as your attention drips down into your legs. From the quadriceps, hamstrings, down to the knees, shins, calves, landing in the ankles. As you exhale, release the weight and heaviness of the legs supported by the ground. Breathe in, attention lands at the feet. And breathe out, release. Whole body at ease. Heavy and soft on the ground, supported, safe, resting. With as much care, kindness, and gentleness as you can, take the next 5 breaths to bring yourself up to a seated position. Moving with ease, perhaps deepening the breath. Being very gentle with the body. Take your time. And as you move towards a seated position, know that we'll be here for just a moment as we conclude our time together. from a seated position that most suits you in this moment. Hands may stay on the legs and the lap, or you might take one hand, place it over the heart, and the other hand on top of the first hand, so that both hands are stacked on top of the heart. We'll finish with a couple collective breaths together. Breathe in through the nose, sigh out through the mouth. Breathe in through the nose, sigh out through the mouth. I'm grateful for you sharing time today to practice, to breathe and move. I wish that you feel grounded and that you experience delight. And I wish you well. Thank you for spending some time today with me and with Hands to Heart Center. Take good care.